For delaying time inside of Unity using the time class, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do that. So with the same object still selected, let's go ahead and clear this one. We're going to set up a way so that, say for instance, you're making a game where you want a person to be able to push a button, but not push the button directly after, but they have to actually have a delay before they can push the button again. Let's write up something that would work for us so that we can actually use that. So first thing we want to do, let's see, let's make two variables. We'll make a variable, we'll call this one a delay amount, and we'll make this equal to, let's say we'll do 2 seconds. That way you can actually, when you're testing it, you'll be able to see exactly how it works. We'll make another variable. We'll call this one a private variable, just so that we can actually access it in the inspector. This is going to be our time delay, and we'll go ahead and make it equal to 0 because we're not going to directly use it. This is going to be assigned inside of our script. Alright, so in our delay time, let's go ahead and look for we're going to do it so that when you push a key, it's going to check to see if the key's pushed. So we're going to do a key check, and then we're going to check to see if our current time, which is this time, current time, is greater than the time delay that we have. Alright, and if it is, then we'll actually print something to the console. Alright, so we're going to say if input, we'll do a get key, since we just want to get a key. And let's say we want to just pick a letter. I'm going to choose D. Okay, so we're going to say if D is pressed, and we'll say time, and this is going to be our current time. So we just looked at before, the time just going by, just counting in seconds. So we're going to say that if the current time is greater than the time delay, then we want to do the following. Well, first thing we want to do is we want to say that our time delay is going to equal our current time plus the delay time we have for the amount. Alright, and then we're going to print, just so that we know it's actually working. We'll say that delay was a delay complete. Printing again. Alright. So very simple, but this is a very useful uh, usage of actually using time.time. So before we run it, just to make sure you understand, if I was to, say for instance we just go for the artist, this is usually what kind of helps. I'll go ahead and just place it down here. Is that if I just write out what's actually happening, if key D is pressed and current time. So let's just replay. This is just like pseudocode, but kind of with numbers, so you can see what's happening. So we're going to say time.time. Let's go ahead and put a number. Say that we push the letter D at in 15 seconds into the gameplay. Now, and so we're going to say that if 15 is greater than time delay, so let's hold off on that for 1 second. Let's come back to that. So inside of here, our time delay, because currently our time delay is 0, so that means that the very first time you push it, you're guaranteed you can do it. But let's go ahead and see what happens afterwards, though. We have a time delay equals current time. Okay, so we have, we'll say for a moment, we'll say equals current time, which is 15. And then we say plus delay amount. What's our delay amount? Delay amount is 2. So we're going to say 15 plus 2. So what does that equal? It equals 17. Alright? So now we go, okay. Now we can say, is this... Now if 15 is greater than 17, then you can actually print the following thing. Print the words. Alright, so let's do a quick comparison here. This is something that if you don't get it, then you want to make sure you're doing something like this. Run through the math, actually stare at this, understand what's happening. When I push D, the very first time I push D, my delay amount is let's see, I'm sorry, my time delay. My time delay is 0. So that would be if D is pressed and 15 is greater than 0, then time delay is going to equal the time plus the delay amount. So our first time through, we have a true statement which allows us to get in there. So if I say pressed and we'll say 15 is greater than 0, then you can do stuff. Okay? This is the equation that happens the first time through, is that it is greater than, which means that it records the current time, our current time delay into it, so that when it comes back in through again. So for instance, I can't actually do any kind of button pushing until after our current time is greater than 17. So I actually have to wait 2 seconds before I can actually push D again. Alright? So hopefully you're kind of seeing this. It's first time through. Sometimes it's a little tricky for artists to fully understand what's happening on that side of it. But if let's say for instance we have it here, we're gonna try it out. So when I go in here and I push play, now what I want to do is push D, and when I push D, it's gonna put the option in there. Now actually it went by a little too fast with all the other ones printing, so let's take our print off of our time here. There we go. Okay, so when I push D, now if I wait 2 seconds and push D again, I can go from right here. But now if I push D and then I push really fast, you notice I pushed probably 10 times, nothing happened because I was pushing within the 2-second delay amount. Now if I push D again, it's going to print to it. So all we've done is just created a slight delay in the response for the key presses, which does allow you to have a little bit more control of how often someone pushes a button. Say for instance if you're jumping and you don't want to do a on button down, but you just want to get just a regular get key. This would be a useful one in that you could actually time it based off of the animation length or the falling height. So we have our basic idea to delay the time based off of our current time plus a delay amount. If I was to go over here and actually take our delay amount up to say 5 or 6, let's clear this for a second. So I could push D. Now I can keep pushing and keep pushing. All I'm doing is pushing, and until the 6.5 seconds passes, then it's actually going to allow me to, it's going to actually see my key press and then print something for me. Alright, so that's going to be your delay amount for your time.